Listener warning. Everything about this podcast is offensive and often stupid. It's a podcast that Porn Monthly gives 4 out of 5 weenies. It's Guys, Gays, and Bear!
Yo! 4 weenies! So we got 4 weenies?
We're 4 out of 5, and there are 5 of us here. One of you guys...
There's 6!
He's not counting himself.
Man, I'm not counting myself. I obviously know myself.
Because he's omnipotent.
Everybody knows you, biblically.
A weenie, obviously.
Alright, so, Rob, why are we here today, right now?
Yeah. You had to bring it up.
I had to bring it up.
I want to point out that it's Larry's fault. Okay, Larry?
Larry
oh, by the way.
Raging drunk, hit the delete key on the first part of the episode, obviously. I mean, that's obviously what happened.
Gets robbed down the stairs. It was very terrible. We were all terrified.
Yeah.
Alright, so obviously then it is Larry's fault.
It is Larry's fault. And by the way, I want to give a special shout out to Larry, who's not here because
He can take the fall for us.
his his herpes acted up. So I want everybody to say, sorry you got herpes, Larry.
Sorry you got herpes, Larry!
Sorry, Larry. Sorry about your herpes. All right, so what we're going to talk about is the N64. And we're going to go with... Damn, that was loud. We're going to go with the factoid section of the show. Fortunately, we kept the second half of the show, which is going to be a completely different bar. So don't be shocked. Don't freak out when we change bars.
For some reason, I don't know.
Yeah, and he was actually there. He was under the table.
I'm a time traveler. I had to go save the future.
Yeah, we've gained a few people.
I was there. I was phasing in and out of existence as well, so.
Alright,
Yep.
good. Alright.
You ready?
Yeah, let's get it.
N64 facts.
Alright, so here's the thing with the facts on the N64. We're going to talk a little bit about the hardware specifications. And honestly, I had some issues with the hardware. But go ahead, let's start talking.
Because it was all forget it. We're not gonna. We can talk about that. Okay, developers working on the game console used the codename Project Reality. That's what it was originally called. It later went on to be called the Ultra 64. The reason being because
I'm sorry, I didn't sign.
the reason being because Ben doesn't know what the fuck he's doing on a podcast. I'm sorry, Ben, but that's the way it
I haven't
is.
done this before, Ben.
Right, but the reason was that they wanted to make a console that could actually rival the graphics of supercomputers at the time.
No, that being said, because we're going to talk about this in just a moment, who made their chip, Rob?
SGI.
And SGI was making what at the time?
They were making nuclear satellites.
And supercomputer stuff.
Yeah, that too.
So they
The stuff for movies.
Silicon Graphics was the, premier graphics company at that time.
It was silicon, not silicone. They were not making boobies, Tom.
They were making boobies.
Making boobies.
They were making boobies.
That's freaking hilarious.
They really did a great job on their chipsets at the time. So, I mean, I can understand them wanting to try. It was a laudable... I'm sorry, it was not a laudable goal. It was... Give me a laudable goal. I've been drinking all morning. Give me
It's pretty laudable.
It's in the afternoon now.
That's right.
That's
right.
We have been drinking. That said. All right. It was shortened to the N64 right before launch, and people just call it the N64.
You really should kind of turn around. Because otherwise you're just going to be looking at your back the entire show.
Yeah.
That's the best side, though.
It is a good side.
I would agree with that. Originally, the N64 was supposed to be released at Christmas time in 1995, but it wasn't launched in Japan until 1996. It was also launched in 1996 in North America in September. The reason why it was late, Nintendo said they needed more time for the N64 software to mature. Oh, I had a drink, didn't I? And for third-party developers to produce games. But a former engineer from SGI said the chip was underperforming and they needed more time to perfect it because it was really state-of-the-art for its time.
Yeah, I mean, again, they really picked a decent company to actually do that, so...
What do you think, Tyler?
I never had too much experience with N64. Honestly, I was always more of a, PlayStation guy and things like that.
Tyler hates the N64.
No, we've had this discussion.
Just
too.
saying.
I mean, no, the N64, it really was. It depends what kind of gaming you were doing. And
We'll get it.
My point is, I was a child, so I was not buying the consoles. My parents bought us for bought them for us.
So it was your parents' fault?
I blame everything on my parents. Don't you guys? Come on.
Well, the N64.
My mom's not here yet, is she? No. Okay, yeah, everything.
For 2 players. The N64 brought in the 4 players.
Right.
Right in there, and I'm in the same boat. I had 3 older brothers, so it's not 3, 2 older brothers. I've also been drinking, but it was built in to be like, okay, now the parents only have to buy one system, and it's got so many great games that 4-player plays well.
That's true. Absolutely. Oh, so interesting factoid. The N64 released 3 days early in the U.S. Why? Because KB Toys released it early without authorization.
KB Toys.
And that's what happens when you fuck with Nintendo.
They went down with a blaze of glory.
Damn straight. But what ended up happening is N64 ended up calling all their distributors and saying, go ahead, sell it, sell it. Strangely, the Canadians, being super polite, didn't release it, even though they were allowed to. They just waited.
Are there reports of Canadians coming down to the States to get their N64?
No, they're too polite.
Yeah, they really are. The Canadians. Come on.
Hi, Canadian listeners.
Sorry.
Oh, yeah. So, originally, the N64 was going to cost $249.99. However, it was lowered to $199 right before release to compete with Sony's PlayStation and Sega's Saturn. Can you believe? Just think about that.
Yeah.
Well, they didn't know, though. You know, I mean, nobody knew that the Saturn was going to
Was it
fail.
going to fail as bad as it did?
Except for maybe Sega. Which had another one pretty much ready 15 minutes after. But anyway. Aww, that's sad.
They were awesome. They were just.
Hey, so how many? Let's do the guessing game.
Oh, wait, another guessing game. Yeah.
Come on, let's do the guessing game.
Launch titles.
Right.
Launch title.
Okay. No, not launch titles yet. I'm gonna do launch titles, but let's do. How many titles total were made for the N64? Let's go.
In its lifetime?
Yeah.
387.
Holy shit, he's good. One off.
No, you did not.
No, I didn't.
You did. You one off. We can do that on the
That's very impressive.
I totally forgot about this number because I was quite in the bag at the time, so 386.
Very close.
387. Are you bidding $1?
385.
Come on!
All right. During the initial recording, people were saying like thousands. No, you're right. 388.
Oh my god! Out of nowhere!
Out of nowhere.
All right. So how many for the PlayStation?
Also, Rob said you were one off when
Okay,
you
wait
said
a minute.
387.
Total titles for the PlayStation.
How about the PlayStation?
2,368.
I hate you because that's real close.
Damn!
You
did
got to
not.
be kidding me
I
on this.
swear, I'm just really good at
It
guessing
It
these
was
kind of facts.
between a number because, like, you
Travis
said,
knows
because.
math logic.
Yeah, it was between a number because
I'm like
they
the Rain Man of
third
video
party.
games. Come on,
third
guys.
party.
How about it, noob?
Give a number. Give a number.
Wasn't it like between like 1,283 to like I can't remember the numbers, like 1,500?
We really got to do the PlayStation.
All right. 2,710.
My answer will be X, where X equals the number of PlayStation titles.
I'm gonna guess 2,064 because screw you, Nintendo. That's why.
Between 1,850 and 2,355 official. There is no really good count.
No, yeah, I mean,
A
it was a lot
PlayStation.
easier to get games produced on PlayStation.
Yeah. Okay, so the N64 sold 32.93. That's so exact. Million units worldwide. How about the PlayStation?
You said 32 million?
For
I
the
said 32.
64.
Yeah.
You said billion. Billion. No? Billion.
No, I said million.
I was like, no.
You damn drunk.
Gonna go down this
You
road.
dingus.
Yeah, we're going down this.
Let's go with
78 million.
48.5 million.
But outsold everything. Okay, no, that's.
It's like 107 million, isn't it?
Ooh, that's close. Tom?
105 million.
115.
778 million already. Dork.
Yeah.
Nerd! 102 million.
Oh,
You were close.
Damn. Okay.
Drunk during half of this episode.
Me too. The N64 was not the first 64-bit console. Do we know it was?
Yeah.
Do you know it?
The Jaguar.
Yeah, good guess. Yes, the J.
Do the math.
Yeah, you did the math. That's awesome.
Even though, to be honest, most of their games was not in 64.
64.
Yeah.
Yeah, but again,
still
this,
processing
this
it.
still goes
Yeah,
back to
it was still
processing power.
processing, Yeah.
Yeah, but it was still 64 bits.
It's a 64-bit system.
All right. That was back in 1993, beating it by 3 years.
Wow. And see, that's really horrendous.
That's pretty impressive. Okay, another random fact. At the end of World War II, South Korea banned Japanese cultural imports. I had that question, actually.
What?
Yeah, by some of the audience questioned that because they said, South Korea really didn't exist, did it, right after World War II? Well, yeah, but apparently South Korea was the one that banned Japanese cultural imports. So, this is for Tom. Tom likes this. In South Korea, it was released by Hyundai. And branded as the Comboy 64.
Because they had the
Super
NES.
Comboy.
Right?
Yes.
The Comboy. Yep.
And I've seen a couple of them, and they look just like an N64 with the exact same branding, but Comboy is on the memory card cover. It's the only difference.
You mean the graphics card cover?
Yeah, whatever that thing. That cover.
It's the expansion.
Yeah, graphics enhanced.
The
expansion
expansion
pack.
It's RAM.
We'll be talking about that. It's RAM.
Texture memory. Team Ramrod.
Yeah, they call it the expansion pack.
All right. It's time for the release game. How many release games for the N64? Travis, you might know.
US or Japan?
Japan. We'll start with Japan.
Start with Japan.
9.
All right.
9.
I already know it. 3.
I know it too. It's
Yeah, you were at the last episode.
I actually was at the last
Cheating
episode.
on
I
it.
remember it.
It's 3.
You're so smart, Ben.
You know what? 6, because screw you guys.
All right, no, yeah.
4.
There were only 3 release games in Japan, and it was Pilot Wings, have another drink, Rob.
Pilot Rings.
Mario 64, and oh my god, Saikyo Habu Shogi, which was a Japanese virtual board game.
Yay.
All right, how about the U.S.?
We go more conservative now, I guess.
92.
4.
No, Tyler gets to guess next.
Yeah, sorry.
I'm gonna go with 6 again.
You actually remembered that from the last episode. That's pretty impressive. Learned something.
I'll say the correct answer.
2. There were 2 release games for the N64.
And the Pilot Wings.
Ooh, you're good.
Ah!
You are so good.
Yeah, what do you mean good? I remember these facts.
I'm
I
pretending.
guessed a ridiculous number in the hundreds, and I got that off by 1. That should be more congratulated.
No, Travis, it's not.
Well, he got pretty good with like the PlayStation and stuff like that.
Yeah, that was pretty good.
Yeah, so
Yeah, that's pretty good.
yeah, you guys are nice.
All right, cartridge sizes went from 4 megs to 64 megs versus the PlayStation 740. Yeah, because it was a CD
Optical media.
with a black coating on it to protect it. I hear it's purple if you look at it.
On the PlayStation?
Yeah, we'll talk about it on the PlayStation episode. Yeah.
It's purple.
Yeah. All right, so peripherals. We're gonna talk about one. Big peripheral came out in 1999 for the N64 to compete with those CD-ROM drives. It was called the 64DD. It was a disk drive.
Only Japan.
It was a dick drive?
It was a disk drive, yeah. So,
Flash drive.
so here's the thing. How much storage? Come on, we had zip drives back then.
Yeah. 100 megabyte discs, man. That blew my mind.
Yeah.
Zip drives, yeah.
Yeah. How about the N64's excellent disk drive?
I'm gonna guess 248 megabytes.
I'm gonna go with it now. I'm just gonna go and tell you. All right, you want it? Want to do it?
2 gigabytes.
I don't know.
You're not that far off. You're
I
not
think
that
I know
far
Rob.
off.
I think I
Yeah, he is. 64 megs.
I was gonna say. It was like, what?
So really, what reason is there to buy this particular device? And because of that, it failed miserably and never made it into the U.S. If you're interested, here's the excellent list of disc games. Doshin, the Giant.
Dick.
I don't know what Doshin is. I didn't see that one. Earthbound 64.
That would have
Hey.
been awesome. That would have been awesome to see.
F-Zero X expansion kit. Not the game, an expansion kit.
That one's on that machine. It's pretty good.
Eh.
I would have been down for Earthbound, to be honest.
Japan Pro Golf.
Yay.
Oh, God, not this one. Kyojin, no Doshin.
You can't. You didn't press
Keo
the last
Seisen,
button.
I can't get this. Chiboko Chico Deshugo. I just give it up.
Just stop.
However, that said, don't fucking take the notes. I need them.
He's working off the notes.
Here's the thing. It was something about children.
Oh, no.
I'm a little worried about that one.
Michael Jackson's Moonwalker.
Holy shit.
Mario Artist Communication Kit. I know you thought I was just dumb, but no, I'm stupid. Plus, I can't read.
Andy's dumb.
Yeah. Hey. Mario Artist Paint Studio, Mario Artist Polygon Studio, Mario Artist Talent Studio, and
Do we see a pattern here, guys?
yeah, and
Mario Paint, but upgraded. That's awesome.
SimCity 64.
No, SimCity is not lame.
SimCity was lame on the Super Nintendo. SimCity was lame on the N64.
You could attack a city with Bowser.
I believe that every mayor of every freaking city should have to play SimCity.
I agree.
So you understand that you need to actually tax people. All right.
Oh, you need to tax the shit out of them.
If you're going to build a bunch of roads,
Yeah.
you can't just spend in debt forever.
And then people get pissed off with you and it's like, get the fuck out there.
Yep. Well, let the roads rot. Okay, so processor wise, it used the 93.75. I love how exact they were back then. 93.75 megahertz. NEC VR 4300 is based on the MIPS R4300i series 64-bit RISC CPU. Whew! God dang, that was rough. I can't remember who made it for him. But I do remember who made the Reality coprocessor. Reality coprocessor.
Quotations.
Reality. It had two parts, by the way. That was a two-part chip. That coprocessor did video and sound. It had the RDP, which was the Reality drawing processor, and the Reality signal. Jesus, have another drink. Or RSP. Okay. Tom, could you get me another drink, please?
Why, certainly.
Thanks.
I need one too.
Internally, they communicated with each other through 128-bit bus. How crazy is that?
That is so many bits.
That is a lot of damn bits.
That is a lot of bits.
All right, color palette.
You don't know about my bits.
We'll just go with 24-bit color depth, which is pretty damn impressive for that time period. That's really good. Possible colors on screen, 207,000. All right, how much memory did it have? Anybody?
Memory?
Memory. How many memories?
On the console?
On the console.
10.
How many what?
Megabytes on the console.
Go with 64. They really like 64.
63.
4.
4 megabytes.
Which made it about, which gave it as much RAM as my 486 back then. However, you could expand it to 8 megabytes with a cartridge, yes. By the way, memory in that system, they used to brag like, oh, it's got so much memory next to everybody else, man. That PlayStation's got barely any RAM at all. But the problem is, with an N64, it shares it with everything. So every chip gets its memory from one pool as opposed to like a PlayStation, which has separate memory for each pool. So, you know, the video was taking RAM. The sound was taking RAM. The RAMs was taking RAMs. That's why they really needed it because, you know. All right, obviously it was expandable to have extra graphics capabilities, as we know, due to the FX chip, which made it F-excellent. Huh?
Fucking yes.
I'm fucking awesome.
You're bad.
Damn
you
straight.
Feel bad.
All right, anything else to say?
Did you guys cover Magic Pixie Dust?
No.
Magic Pixie Dust, there
We did
was
that
64 Magic Pixie Dusts on that system. All right, so what we're going to do is we're going to take a break. When we come back, we're going to be at a totally different bar with some different people. Sorry about that.
Somebody died.
Stupid delete button.
Thanks, Larry.
And we're back from break with a Larry interlude. Larry?
Well,
I just wanted to share before we get into the hardcore topics that we're going to discuss next about my one moment with the N64. Now, those of you that are very early listeners to our podcast already know this story, but the N64 for me, I purchased pretty much when it first came out to play Shadow of the Empire. And I played that game and sold them both inside of like a month. So I owned the system for about a month.
Did you buy it at Target?
I did.
You were well within return range.
We don't know why
I
you
should-
bought it from Target.
Right. Well, that's where I worked at the time. I did not return it. I sold it. But I mean, because it was still a hot system, I pretty much almost got my money back.
Yeah.
At the time. But yeah, that's it. So that is I played Super Mario too, because but that was it. Shadow of the Empire. I played it to completion and got rid of the system. That was it.
I can't tell you, like, with my story with the N64 is that I never owned one until recently. And it was back then when, like, it was selling for $100 because that's when, like, the Sega Dreamcast came out about that time. So they were lowering their prices on it. And that's also when Super Smash Brothers came out. So I was begging my parents for, like, years and years to get me one. But then I settled for a PS2 instead. But now I have it. I'm happy that I have the system that I've begged for for most of my childhood. So
let's talk about emulation, Rob.
Yeah, we're gonna start with emulation and clones, which don't exist yet. They're coming though. Just about to happen. Yeah, just about to happen.
Quotations.
So
Right there.
so again, we always talk about with systems. Should you emulate it? Should you buy the original? What about a clone system? Now, again, NES. There's a billion freaking different clones for that. SNES. We said there were no clones for that.
No, that's not true.
There is.
No, there's got to be clones. for
No.
that.
There are plenty. I looked it up afterwards.
Okay, all right.
There are quite a few.
Just
And even
Super
hardware.
NES you're talking about.
Yeah, Super NES.
Yeah.
There are quite a few.
Well,
I mean, not as many as there are
the
NES.
Retron, isn't the Retron one of them?
It's emulation.
Yeah, it's,
it's
really
not
not
a
a clone. Right.
When you say clone, you're saying basically hardware copied.
Correct. Hardware copy.
Yeah, there's
Where
one that
you
looks
can-
just like
you
the
can
N64
reverse
now.
You can reverse engineer it, but it's still hardware. You're not running that software on a different processor.
Right.
So you're actually using whatever the original processor was, or something designed like the original processor.
You know what? I was surprised at that the emulation on a PC came out fairly early on an N64 and was fairly effective.
Yeah, literally.
While
the system was still for sale and still popular, which is very unusual for emulation.
And you know what was even more strange is a PS1, the emulation was really poor at that time.
I think that goes back down to coders, though. I don't think that has to do with the
Ultra
thing.
HLE was the first one that actually ran N64 code, and it was excellently coded.
Yeah, so I did not go out and buy a N64. My first experience with gaming on the N64 was through Ultra UHE. I used that as my, if I could get that one to run, I could get my system to run other emulation. I used to emulate all my hardware. Then I just blew that off completely. Emulation sounds great, but it's so fiddly, futzy, that I just got tired of doing it. Yes. Yeah, no, but Ultra UHE was good, but even that, you still
in my bin there.
you still had a lot of things you had to goof around with. The control schemes are different. You always ran into all those issues. So,
Yeah, I mean, to that, yes, I got some stuff to work on it for the N64 in emulation. But, there were times where all the, the backgrounds would disappear and, all of a sudden the polygon wouldn't be there. Like, half of Mario's head would be there and the rest would be...
yeah, no, but see, that's the thing about emulation. Even the graphic card with Ultra UHE was very dependent on your graphics card.
You needed 3DFX.
Exactly.
To start with.
Right, to start with, or better. So you had to have a decent card.
I had a crappy one,
And that's why you had
That's
to-
what'll do it.
So no, you were saying now that they actually are going to come out with some hardware emulation, or it's already out?
The clocks run out on their protection of the N64, so very soon. I would say probably by the end of the year you'll start seeing N64 systems. I know that Retron is working on it.
Yeah.
At least they announced that they were working on it. We'll see.
But this still goes back down to for the overall experience, because there are so many of those units out there, you might as well just grab the hardware for the 30-some bucks. Or
It's super cheap.
exactly.
Yeah, the thing with the N64 is I almost think that unless you have a CRT, a regular tube-type TV, you should probably emulate it.
Yeah, which by the way, I have a regular CRT for games like this.
Yeah,
What is it?
it does not.
They get really pixelated and grainy.
Yeah.
On LCD TVs. It's also the latency issues that you run into, where the graphics just don't look right.
It's because they actually had a real 3D card in it. It was the way they shade, I think it is, throws off LCDs and it looks terrible, very blocky. That said, you can use an upscaler and that works pretty well. I've got an upscaler for mine.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's pretty nice. It's not. Yeah, it's not bad. If you have a decent upscaler, you're all right.
Upscaler with a flat screen.
Yep.
Is it as good as on a CRT? So it's sort of native mode.
In some ways, it's hard
Or
to
is it
say
even
because
better?
you're a higher resolution. I would say I prefer it just because I don't have to have a CRT around. But honestly, the best way is emulating it because you can upscale everything. The N64 is uniquely well designed for the ability to use a powerful computer and make it look way better. You can make an N64 look really good with it.
See, I'm a realist, so to be honest, guys, I've never really emulated at all.
You can only play it on the actual hardware.
I've actually, that's why I actually own every single hardware I own is that I don't emulate whatever. I'm a collector deep down inside. Like, I mean, you guys see my household or my apartment. I got comic books everywhere. I don't have any of those big books. I got comic books. I got the original systems everywhere, all hooked up to one TV. I get why you guys do it and stuff like that, but I'm more of like.
Yeah, I'm only saying for the N64. That's a unique system for me.
Yeah, and also they're pretty to look at when you got like the whole setup nice.
Yeah.
It's just like, yeah.
But it's always a question of room.
Yeah.
I always think about this, that if you're a licensed purist, you want to be a good citizen, you want to own the licensing. So
It's nothing. To
let's
do
say
with that, really.
let's say you emulate it and you have the games, but you own every cartridge you play.
Right.
Are you within bounds?
Yes.
Or are you still out of bounds?
No, if you purchase the cartridge and you're emulating, you already own the cartridge.
License-wise, you may or may not be. I would say that ethically, honestly, those games are pretty much fair because the system's not made anymore. The companies aren't making money off of those games
Correct.
anymore, unless
And second-party sales,
unless
they
it's
don't make
available like on another system where
Right.
they're selling it.
Second party sales, they don't make much money off of it either.
But second party people do.
Yeah, but here's the thing. There are things you'll never find that just are unavailable. And there's also, we talked about this, it's storage.
Like
So-
Ninja Golf for the 7800?
Some people might emulate. Because if you don't have room, I had to dedicate a room just to my gaming systems, a whole room. Some people don't have that
room.
Yeah,
It
some
makes
people
me cry when I go there.
Some people don't have that luxury to have that kind of space. So emulation's the way around. That's why I originally started emulating, because it was nice to have everything on one system without having all my systems set up and running.
Just be jealous, Pete, Larry, that we have like women in our lives that will allow us to dedicate one little space to our madness.
You've seen his basement, right?
Yeah,
a bar,
yeah,
a home
yeah.
theater. I mean,
He has an entire basement.
Yeah. Yeah, what are you complaining about?
You should see the arcade that's on the way.
Oh, and you're bitching about that.
I'm just saying it's a beautiful room, I can appreciate other people's space too.
You should have saw my Madman
it doesn't
setup
matter where you
before.
get your appetite as long as you eat at
You
home.
should have saw my Madman setup that I had going on in my place before I had to dismantle it for someone else.
So again, going back to it though, I'm still, as an ex-emulated guy, I still think hardware is the better way to go. And that includes things like the Retron and so on. Then again, if you don't have space or you don't have access to, they're nice to have.
I'd say it depends on your screen.
And there
Really
are.
does.
I think it's just.
Oh yeah, if you don't have a CRT, there's no reason you ever would want to plug in an N64 without an upscaler.
Thank you, but you can upscale, so you don't have to have a screen. You can just upscale it.
Not everybody has the money for an upscaler though.
But now to his point though, there is if you don't have the original hardware, you can't use some of the more unusual add-ons. like Pokemon Snap, for example. It's going to be tough to emulate.
I don't know if
that.
that's true or not because I know you can plug the controller in.
They have adapters like that, which we are just having to be using. By the way, a little plug for next week because we just picked up a whole bunch of these, what they're called, Magic Joy? No, not Magic Joy. What are those boxes we buy? I forget what they're called, but they make adapter boxes for your PC that allow you to plug in your PS.
USB to the
Xbox?
to Xbox. Not N64. Technically, it was GameCube, but I think they're the same controllers at the time. I think they are.
No, that connector's round.
Yeah.
And
The N64, so is the GameCube one.
wireless.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
Oh, no, not
Yeah. But, and the PS1 and / PS2. So yeah, it does allow you to do that. But so that being said,
They are both round on the game.
right? So, but they do make USB adapters for the N64. So you can do that. You're right. You can get around that.
That said, do whatever feels right.
Yeah,
I guess.
or it's cheap.
Yeah, that's one of the unusual times where I say, yeah, you might be all right.
This is the hippie broadcast.
Yeah,
Whatever
man.
Feels right.
That's right.
What's up with what games are our favorite, or what is our favorite game on this?
Yeah, let's talk favorite game. Larry.
Shadow of the Empire. Yes. It was spectacular. It was everything I'd hoped it was. I love that.
So he got rid of the system. Sold the game.
Well, there wasn't going to be a game that was going to be better for me. It was it. It nailed it. For those that don't know, it's a game that takes place between the true Star Wars movies, and it is a very good storyline, and you get all the Star Wars love that you would expect. I mean, it's beautiful. It's perfect.
Awesome.
My favorite N64
your
game?
favorite.
Oh, but there's so many.
One game. Pick one.
If I had to pick one, what do you think it is, Larry?
I was going to guess it would be a Smash Brothers.
You were wrong.
Oh.
I'm gonna say this. I'm gonna tell you you're wrong right now. What do you think it is? I'm
I
gonna.
would have thought it was Super Smash.
Pokemon Stadium.
I have a second guess. You get your guess already.
Guess already.
Pokemon Stadium.
You are very close, Tom.
Oh,
Pokemon Stadium 2. Because all right, what they made in Pokemon Stadium 2, which was the difference was they actually combined your game and Pokemon Stadium into there. They would actually somehow the game just had extra stuff you could put into your game and stuff like that to get you you could make up your own room in Pokemon Gold and Silver. I played Silver because I had a Game Shark too, so I cheated. My parents were kind enough to get me that, but you could connect that to your game, and every Monday, then it would add a character in the game. So every
You really like one of these. Oh, I don't know about that. Sorry.
that's basically what my parents said. I think he really wants it. We should get him. No.
No, we don't love Mike.
So
You could get your game, and then
parents, you see how you scarred your child?
And then, if you played the mini games, you could get coins, which would add to your wallet in the casino. So then you could get one of the really, rare or one of the harder Pokemon to play, which was Porygon 2, which was the bubble version of Porygon. So in a way, the Pokemon Stadium 2 was more connected with the game, with the original game, than with Silver and Gold were connected than Blue and Red were. So that's why I'm naming that my favorite game. Also, goddamn fucking Pokemon, man.
What's funny is now the reason I picked Smash Brothers and my second part was going to be my second guess was going to be Mario Kart is because you had talked about that earlier, how much you liked the multiplayer element of it, but
was cool back then.
I get the Pokemon connection. I mean, you are the hardcore generation for that, so that's they got you guys hard.
When it came out with with Blue and Red, it was just oh my god, these creatures are awesome, and then oh my god, they made another one. It's even better. And it's
Did you go to the Pokemon movies?
Yes. I went to both at the time.
You know what? I own the Pokemon board game. We should have a Let's Play.
I actually went to the Pokemon with Mewtwo in it, that one, and then Pokemon with the well, I don't remember the names of the movies, but I think it was like Pokemon 2000 with Entei.
Yeah, I got them on.
Yeah. And then back in that time, if you saw the Entei movie, they would give you a Pokemon card that was holographic for Entei. Yeah, that was a legendary monster right there. Yeah.
All right, well, mine's easy. So originally, the first game I think I saw on the N64 was GoldenEye. My nephews had it, and I got to play it on that. I always thought that was a great game. And then,
Paintball mode. Big head mode.
that was part of the coolness. You had all these cool modes. You could hack into it. So it was a good first-person shooter. They did a really nice job on that, and it was also a good.
In our online question, several people mentioned that as the #1 shooter of all time.
All right, I'm just gonna say this right now.
You know, I'm not going to disagree with them on that. It really was a good shooter. It's a really good first-person shooter. And here's my thing: it's a great couch gamer. We talked about this before. Up to 4 players at one time, all sitting on the couch, talking trash to each other, banging each other's heads off. And like Mike said, they had all these cool modes. You could do big head mode. You could do paintball mode. You know, it had a lot of cool little modes that were hidden in it.
Well, not only that, but if like back then tips and tricks were coming out at that time, or Nintendo Power, the cheat code list for that goddamn game was like a page long.
Serious. It had more cheat codes than any other game at that time. I think there was just all sorts of hidden modes and hidden Easter eggs in that game.
You had dual rocket launcher mode, which was insanity.
Yeah.
Oh, they did
a lot. They did a lot with that game. So yeah.
Mode was funny because like they always had big hats and you could shoot the hats off their enemies and like they'd fly up in the air and
No,
kill them.
the game was really cool. It really was a great game, and again, a good couch game. That's my pick for
By
it.
the way, you cannot shoot hats off people. I saw that at Mythbusters. Can't do it.
Well,
It's on.
Can't do it.
Anyway,
Also, I believe, isn't that like one of the first James Bond games too that introduced a tank level to it?
it's one of the first James Bond games, if not the first that didn't suck.
The Gecko
That one's
The
real.
Gecko games did not count, and neither does James Bond.
No, there were a lot of James Bond games. They just all sucked.
James Bond Kid, there you go, which was horrible.
That doesn't count either.
All right, so Rob, yours.
I'm gonna go with Super Mario 64. I love that game.
It is a beautiful game.
As a startup game, like that game, that was like the game that like was like if you're gonna like have a launch game, that was probably the one game that was like, hey, we're gonna launch this, and they're like, we should do that, and it just made the system go a little bit bigger at that time.
And since it was one of 2 games that they launched with, you really didn't have much choice, did you?
You didn't really have much choice, but still, like, Super Mario 64 still holds up.
Graphically, it's beautiful.
Yeah, it's
And still to this day, it just looks wonderful, plays wonderful, just hidden goodies everywhere. Everything you wanted out of a Mario game
racing
came into
going
it.
down a giant ice slide.
Right?
Exactly. All right.
There were just challenges, everything. The bosses were even wonderful. Like the first time you saw a giant bomb, man. Ah!
I just remember dancing on the like dinosaur's head in the water, in the one weird cave.
Yeah, it's just a wonderful game.
You don't remember doing that?
I don't remember doing that.
Nope, don't remember.
There's like this weird dinosaur thing. And what about like, isn't there like a scene where you're like riding around on the water and stuff? And
He's drunk.
Yeah, cut them off.
You can ride a turtle shell at that moment in that game, which was like one of the first things.
there you go.
And you could like go across like
Dinosaur with the turtle shell.
you could go through
No, but there is a dinosaur scene because I remember jumping on his head. He's purple.
dry bones. Are you talking about?
Randy?
Anyway.
All right. So
Anyway, that game was
But-
freaking excellent.
You know, as you were saying, as you brought it up again, that it was one of 2 games. You know, maybe future idea for deep dives is secondary release. Do they explode out like, you know, like, okay, you launch with 2 titles, and then 3 weeks later you launch with 20 titles?
We would only be
You know.
talking Nintendo. No, they don't. the N64 really suffered from dry rot for a long time. I mean, at least if you're gonna release one game or 2 games, they were good.
Yeah, which was plus, but yeah, I mean,
But it did okay.
Well, like that, like in my generation though, like
super slalom.
in my generation though, like that was like one of the main like systems where it was just like they had so many iconic games that you couldn't believe it. Had one of the first M-rated games on there too, Conker's Bad Fur Day, which is like one of the only M-rated games.
I can't believe they did that one.
yeah.
That game's famous.
Or did you? I think you might know this. Did they or did they not have blood in whatever Mortal Kombat version they had?
In the gold version, it was not as much as the Sega Genesis version, believe it or not. And those versions I don't like to talk about because they were bullshit.
Killer Instinct, though.
Yeah.
Killer Instinct, though, yeah.
Nice to pick that up.
Full blood mode? Full blood mode?
I haven't played it yet.
I seem
Just
to
picked it
remember
up.
there was a bit of a controversy with Nintendo.
No, Killer Instinct.
No, that was with Mortal Kombat. That's when they brought in the rating system was with Mortal Kombat, and Nintendo was just like, well, that's way too much blood. But Genesis Sega was just like, no, that's good.
Go.
Mortal Kombat, the Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom of video games.
Yeah, no kidding.
Oh, yeah, right?
The best part is, if you got the second one, you could actually go in the debug mode and actually add more gore to your game.
Yay.
All right, so
So,
True?
yeah. So, N64, it gets a thumbs up from me. It's definitely worth collecting.
I want to run out and buy one right now.
I love my N64, and as always, I'm running.
Apparently an upscaler.
Yeah.
And an upscaler, yes, if you're using an LCD.
CRT, I run mine on CRT, works
I
great.
do have a CRT.
And I am using a multi-card on that, like as always. So
36-inch CRT, so
there you go.
I don't need an upscaler.
I don't.
Yeah, you
so
do.
I'll live with what I got.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna get up and get an upscaler. I'll live with what I got.
Ooh, if I
It
put
still
the
looks-
upscaler, I can put it on the projection.
They're like $12 on eBay.
Yeah.
And if you've got a USB port on your TV, you can plug it in.
Oh my god. Like any of the iconic games though, like if you try to go back, you're actually paying a lot for like trying to find those games like in the retro like department. Like then they're ridiculously overpriced.
That is the problem.
What's the wave getting for a lot of those games these days? Anybody check them out lately?
They're pretty sane.
Yeah, that's New Wave is. I love New Wave because their prices are
New Wave's
reasonable.
got decent prices. They were selling, I believe, like Majora's Mask, the gold edition one,
Yeah.
for like around $15, which I could, I could see.
That's
yeah.
very reasonable.
He wants you to play the game.
Yeah, he really
By the way,
does.
we've been working on, people don't know this, but we've been working on the Racine tour. So now, your places to hit is New Wave, John Stock,
Yep.
and Toad Hall.
Yeah.
So,
You gotta hit the
watch,
sure.
oh, and Evelyn's. So we're up to 4 stops on your tour when you
Throw
come.
up every time at Evelyn's. If you want to throw up, go to Evelyn's.
Just avoid
so cheap and you just can't stop yourself.
Ginger and you'll be fine.
That's probably true.
And so we're up to 4 stops in the Racine tour.
Ginger's got all sorts of diseases. Avoid her, okay?
That's right. Marianne ain't too good either.
But when you come to Racine, Wisconsin, those are
Joke
your
for the
4
old people.
All right.
All right, well, thank you very
Wait. Quick one for you. So normally we don't say watch the show. Next week we are doing our annual Mech Day. So you really should watch the show just to see how crazy Mech Day is. So Mech Day basically is, again, we get together and we've got a bunch of Steel Battalion rigs. We max out at about 9 or 10, but we're going to run at least 7 at the next Mech Day. We are also going to be introducing a new G2B studio. Alternative studio to
Battle Bridge.
Yeah, the Battle Bridge to record out of. Actually, I was going to go more with like a shipping container, but Battle Bridge isn't bad either.
kind of have a bit of that feel.
I know, a little bit of a problem there.
Awesome shipping container.
Watch us. Check us out next week. There's going to be some big surprises.
Sure is. Gonna be a mech deep dive,
It is going to be a serious mech.
which is usually mech day. It's just a drunken mess.
Yeah, but this time it's going to be a
We're gonna
deep
be
dive.
at a drunken
To
mess.
be honest, usually those are our worst episodes after Mech Day.
Yeah, but this time,
This time, maybe
this time we're gonna do something good.
maybe we'll be sober.
We'll do it in the middle of the day.
No, but we're at least gonna try to be
I've been
informational.
fired for the show, so it's at least gonna be a little less.
I mean, you haven't had them as much movie nights as you usually do because of Beck Day and what's your big surprise?
I know. All right, so
The big reveal. All right. So don't forget to visit us at www.guysgamesandbeer. You will notice on the website that you can actually listen to every episode of Guys, Games, and Beer on there. There's a link across the top, which you can't do on iTunes or any other source of listening to our podcast. So if you ever missed... Yes, it's part of the Internet Archive where you can listen to every episode as well. That's archive.org. You can.
They're not in order. Are they in order?
Yeah, they're in order. They always were. It's just how archive works. But anyway,
And besides, he retooled.
no, it isn't. We love archive.org. They give us free storage where everybody else is paying through their ass. So also, don't forget that we are on Facebook, and a lot goes on our Facebook. Free games. We have polls. We got a fight going on right now. N64 versus PS. Yeah, PlayStation.
N64 is winning.
I'm kind of both pleased, disappointed, and surprised that game topics go gangbusters versus beer topics.
All right, enough of that. Okay, Twitter. Twitter, we are at Guys Games Beer. Yep, no and. What else has been going on? Twitch at Guys Games and Beer. It's been slow. We kind of come on randomly.
Yeah, but
so if you see us on,
go to our Facebook page. He's always giving away games. So
and on Twitter as well.
yes, and occasionally on Twitter we give away. Well, not occasionally. We give away a couple games usually a week. So follow us. Get free shit.
Plus, you can watch the kind of weird conversations we have with developers. We have some weird.
Steam account.
We do, and that's Guys Games and Beer. Search on Guys Games and Beer. Come on, join us on Steam. It's fun.
Ask us for free shit on Steam. We'll probably give it to you.
Yep, probably.
Probably have just lying around someplace.
Exactly. So,
That's just usually.
so
what
you might
happens.
say, "Hey, I'm a poor something or another. Give me a free game on Steam on our Steam group." And we go, "Oh yeah, you are poor. Sure, we'll send you something."
Damn straight we will.
Probably gonna be out of a humble bumble, but
Humble bubble. I like that. The humble bubble.
Now.
All right, well, thank you very much for watching Guys Games and Beer. Glad you do. Bye.